How many listings could you take if you generated 6 new CMA requests every single month? Seriously, take a minute and think about it. If you're super confident in your skills, you probably said you would close all 6. And some of you might have said you would convert only half of them or maybe only one into a listing. Here's what I love. No matter what you answered, you didn't say 0. So if I could help you generate just 6 CMA requests every single month, you would start taking more listings. Now, my name is Levi Jones. I'm the founder and head coach of Guerrilla Realty, and I want to show you 2 things today. Number one, how to become a market expert and how to turn that newfound knowledge to generate a slew of sellers wanting to know the value of their home every month. It takes less than 15 minutes of prep work, just a little bit of storytelling. So let's jump into it. By the way, we do a full 1 hour live format training on this topic where we'll show you how to become a market expert by doing a forecast and then turning that into CMA requests. We include all the tools, scripts that you need step by step for the whole strategy. To get it, all you have to do is like this video, share it with another agent, and then comment shared below. I'll send you a private link to the full resource. I'm going to start with a bold statement. If you aren't absolutely the best agent in your market, you owe it to your client and the law to fire yourself. Not actually fire yourself, but you should seriously think about referring out the client to someone else. I'm dead serious. As a real estate agent who has a fiduciary duty to look at your client's interest above your own, you either need to start studying your market like it's your job, and it is, by the way, or fire yourself. And no, being the best doesn't mean you need 20 years of experience or hundreds of deals under your belt. In fact, with less than 15 minutes of focused studying every month, you are going to immediately know more about your market than most of your colleagues and have the confidence to talk to clients as the most knowledgeable agent for the job. If you ask most agents what's happening in their market, you're likely going to get some ambiguous answer about a shift or interest rates. They aren't usually able to actually articulate what's happening with buyers and sellers in their city. So we built a tool that helps you do the homework and begin to tell a story about the market that is interesting, compelling. You can create a free account at xforecast.com. So let's take a look at it. Once you're at xforecast.com, it's going to look something like this. You can either put in your email address to get started and create a free account, or I'm actually just going to sign in because I have an account. And then the cool part is you're going to, and I'm just going to show you real quick, you're going to enter in multiple market segments. We recommend at least 10, but in this test account, I have a couple of market segments. These are just cities, or it could be neighborhoods. It could even be school districts, etc., but market segments. And then you're going to look up 5 key numbers for each market segment. Now, again, I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes, how I do it with my MLS. I'll actually walk you through it. But you're going to take these numbers: active properties, properties closed last quarter, the average sale price last quarter, the average sale price this quarter, and then, of course, the average list price this quarter. Those numbers are what's going to ultimately create your market forecast. Now, you'd be maybe thinking, well, those numbers aren't all that important. How do I tell a compelling story about those numbers? The truth is you don't, okay? But once you have that report and you've entered those numbers, the cool part is the X Forecast app actually translates those numbers into numbers that are compelling. So for example, it's going to give you an accurate days on market. By the way, if you've been using the days on market number issued by your MLS, not accurate. They only include the properties that actually sell. It's also going to have the absorption rate. It's going to have the list to sell percentage. You think that that could be important when you're entering in and you're submitting a new offer? Rather than just trying to figure out where the wind's blowing, let's actually look at the data and make offers and talk to our clients based on what's actually happening in the market. What about pricing trend? Rather than ambiguously talking about a shift, we could actually be talking about the exact annualized amount that it's been moving, either up or down, depending on the season. And of course, average discount, that's another way of saying the list to sale percentage. It's the flip flop of that. Now, we could actually tell a compelling story about this, and it allows us to be knowledgeable about our market, know our customers. If I were to end the video here and you did nothing besides actually dig into your market stats every month, it would be worth it. You'd be able to talk to your clients with confidence and know you are the best agent for the job. But we can take those stats and tell a compelling story about them to demonstrate our expertise on the market, and then use that to generate CMA requests from our sphere of influence. Now, here are 3 things you can do today to generate 6 CMA requests. Thing number 1 is gathering the data. Now, I have Xforecast open. I'm going to go ahead and create a new report. Again, I'm going to show you how to do it for a couple of market segments, and I'm going to use my MLS. Now, I have Matrix as my MLS. If your MLS also uses Matrix, it's going to look just like mine. In fact, you can do it exactly like I'm doing it. If it's not, I guarantee you can get these same numbers from your MLS, but it may look a little bit different. And in fact, you may even have to contact your local association for help in how to access these numbers if you've never done it before. In fact, that's what I had to do recently when my MLS changed providers to Matrix. I had no idea how to find the numbers. I'd been doing these X forecasts for some time. And so I needed to call them up and say, hey, how do I get this, number of active properties? So first things first, number of active properties is really easy because that's the default is active. All I have to do is put in the market segment. In this case, it's the city of Fayetteville. And you can't see it. Let me see if I can move my, there we go, move my face. You can probably see it, 1,064 matches. So I'm just going to go back to X forecast. I'm going to type 1,064. The properties closed last quarter. So I want the number of sold. And when I look at last quarter, it's we're using running quarters. We're not looking at fiscal quarters or anything like that. So running quarters would be 90 to 180 days ago. All right, 91 to 180 days ago. And again, I'll show you real quick. It's 989 matches on the thing. So I would put in 989 sold last quarter. Now I'm looking for the sale price from last quarter. So I'd actually go into the results and on, let me click back. Sorry to move my face around. Maybe I'll just leave my face up in the corner here. I click tabular, and the closed price average was 282,113. Now, some of you are already going, I already know you're going, wow. That's an unbelievably low sale price. It is. You should move here. And in fact, I can refer you to a great agent, aka me, if you do move. Now I need to find the average sale price and list price for this quarter. So I'm going to go back to my search criteria. And again, you'll notice it's pretty easy. So this quarter is 0 to 90 days ago. The only thing I'm changing. And I'm going right back to the stats. I'm looking for closed price and list price. Okay. So closed price, 280,643. 280,643. And list price is, where was it? Get out of here. 281,109. A little bit more than the closed price, 109. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same 5 numbers. Now, again, those numbers, they don't mean a whole lot to a consumer. You might look at it and go, okay, cool, inventories, a little bit up, etc. You could even look at, the sale price is down a little bit. Okay, fair. It's also seasonal. So, we went from the summer season last quarter to now we have, the fall into the winter season. It's October when I'm filming this. We're going to do the same thing for all of those numbers, but this time I'm going to go to active, and I'm going to put in the new market segment. In this case, it's Hope Mills. It's a local suburb of Fayetteville. This time, it's a much smaller area, 167 active. Okay. And I could actually do this for 10 different market segments in all less than 15 minutes. X forecast compiles the numbers for me. So now I need sold last quarter. Again, the last quarter is 91 to 180 days ago. So 171. Okay. And average sale price last quarter is, and we'll go to results, 285, 278. I don't want you to get hung up on the actual numbers here, because some of you are going 200s. We haven't had that in a decade. Fine. These numbers relative to your market, of course, are going to work the same way. So now we need to go back and do this quarter. So we'll go to create sold 0 to 90 days ago. And again, I'm going to look up the same. I'm going to look up close price and list price. So I want close price 291, 117, and 293, 863. And once I save that, here's what's cool. Immediately, it spits out some numbers for me. These are numbers that are actually compelling. And I'll show you how you can take these numbers and tell a compelling story here in just a moment. Don't just report the numbers. Human behavior is based on emotion, not logic. So tell a compelling story about the market using numbers. And in fact, if this is your first time looking up your numbers, you may be surprised at what's coming out. That surprise is an emotion you're feeling about the numbers. You may go, wow, the average days on my market is actually much higher than I thought. If you've only been looking at the days on market from your MLS report that's issued to you every month, that's probably exactly the reaction that you're having. But this is the true average days on market, which includes all of the homes that are sold in your market or not sold, as the case may be. And it's based on the absorption rate. The absorption rate, again, that typically doesn't mean a whole lot to consumers. The absorption rate is just how often the inventory turns over in a given time. But you might also look, like I'm looking at the list to sale percentage. I'm like, wow, in Fayetteville, basically people are getting their list price every single time, but the pricing trend's a little bit down. The down part actually surprises me a little bit, because this is the first time it's been down, that trend. Now, again, that's just a trend that's been annualized. So if the trend continued, the market would go down 2% over the next year. Some of this just is seasonal. What's interesting is that despite the seasonal downturn in Fayetteville and Hope Mills, the pricing trend is still up. It's still on an upward trajectory. But people aren't quite getting their list price. Now, what you see is that I'm just reacting to what I observed about the market. And then I'm taking a couple of those things that stick out to me. And I'm not just saying the number, but I'm telling a story about it. Keep that in mind. And, my own reaction to these numbers is the story. Now, how can I turn that into something that results in CMA request? That brings me to the final piece of the puzzle. Thing number 3, share it live. Now that you have a story that will stir emotion, showing 2 to 3 data points you found interesting, we want to get it in front of an audience and then use that story to drive the audience to a CMA page. So no, a canned video won't reach as wide of an audience because social media shows preference to live video. We want 3 to 5 minutes max, and we want to keep it conversational. And then as you show your numbers, you're going to start with something like, hi, this is Levi Jones with Guerrilla Realty. It's October. This is a quick video about what's happening in the Fayetteville real estate market right now. I get asked a lot, hey, Levi, is this a good time to buy, or is this a good time to sell? Should I wait? And most realtors will tell you it's always the right time to sell, but that's not true. I prefer to look at the numbers and see what the numbers say. And then, of course, I'd share my top 2 to 3 points from the numbers. And then I'd wrap it up with a call to action, a CTA, with pointing them to the CMA request. So I'd say, if you don't see your subdivision or neighborhood on this report, drop a comment and we'll do this analysis for you for free. And if you have a friend who's been thinking about selling, be sure to tag them in the comments. They need to see these numbers. Even if they don't use me, they still need to see it. Finally, if you've been thinking about selling yourself, wondering if now is the right time, what you need to know is that what your house would go for today. And we do a free service, a full 50-point CMA. We call it the Bulletproof CMA. It's like a professional appraisal. It's completely free. And it will show you exactly what you would net if you were to sell your house right now or anytime in the next 6 months. So click the link in the comments to request a 50-point CMA. We only have time to do 5 this week, so you'll need to do it fast. And then after I share all that, the CTA, I'm going to drop a link to the CMA request page in the comments of the video. Let me show you my CMA request page, but any CMA request page would be fine. All right, so this is my CMA request page, and it starts with, hey, what's my property worth? I'm going to put in an address, and again, it's going to begin finding the property, and it's going to get an instant valuation similar to Zestimate, Redfin. In fact, that's exactly where we pull those numbers. And you might be thinking, well, that's not accurate. I know. And by the way, your consumers know as well, but people want quick, they want fast. Now, here's what happens when they go in and you know, try to pull their CMA request is it's going to give them an instant valuation, and then it's going to tell them why that instant valuation is not the best number, and then offer to do the full 50-point valuation that we offered in the call to action. So it's going to pop up the property. It's going to say the details. Hey, is this right? Yes, get my instant valuation. And it's going to show them online the various automatic valuations that are available to them. But it says, hey, these can be off by a significant amount. Get my bulletproof CMA. This is what we wrote the call to action. If they click this, so this is a choice between two yeses for us, because if they go, oh, that's good, Zillow says 217, great, and they click off this page, guess what? I still am able to skip trace their phone number, and I have a lead in here. But if they take the next step and they want the bulletproof CMA, they can actually enter in their property details. And when they submit that, again, that sends it to me as a lead as well. So either way, just by entering in their property, their address, I now have them as a lead, as someone who's interested in knowing their home valuation. I can turn that into listings. Again, maybe not 100% conversion rate. In fact, mine is closer to 50% conversion rate or closing rate on CMA requests to listings, but it's not zero. That's the whole process. Now, I want to issue you a quick challenge to do your homework and truly be the best agent for your clients. It has the power to change every interaction and allows you to add even more value for your clients. Not to mention, you can get some listings from it as well. Now, remember, we do a full 1 hour long training on the X forecast process with examples, step-by-step breakdown, and all the links and tools you need to execute. We want to give it to you for free. Just like the video, share it, type share it in the comments, and I'll send you a private link to the training for free. We also put out new videos like this twice a week, so make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks a lot, guys.